Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Depot Foundation's annual Circle of Friends event. This event has been going on since the foundation was established in 1979 to recognize those people in the community who add so much to the quality of life for our area. We have a number of award recipients tonight that it's just amazing, the depth of talent in our area and the contributions that these people make to our city. Before we begin the program, I'd like to welcome Michelle Bixma, and she will deliver a land acknowledgement grant.
Buju and Dinawig Magadadug, Michelle Hakla Bixma and Dishnakaz, Migizi and Dodem, Gichi Onagaming Inda. What I told you there was welcome, my relatives. Hello, my relatives. And I do call you all my relatives. We do have a shared history, and we have been living on this land together for quite a number of years now. So I was asked to give a land acknowledgement statement this evening, and while praying about it, it occurred to me that maybe it was important to understand why we do the land acknowledgement statement. So we are currently on what is regarded as Ojibwe or Anishinaabe land, but it's been occupied by other indigenous people throughout its history as well. So for Ojibwe, the land is our sacred mother. She feeds us and has for many centuries. She teaches us, she helps us to grow. We even have a ceremony that when a baby is born, after the first 4 days, we do a ceremony where the baby's feet first touch the ground. It's an introduction to that power of Mother Earth. We offer tobacco to the spirits and feast with food. We give thanks for this new life on the earth and for the mother's safety in shepherding this new life into the world. When the baby's feet touch the ground, that's when our traditions say that the spirits of the earth comes up through the ground and touches their skin and comes into them. And there are still Ojibwe elders that will, when they pray, will take their shoes off and will stand barefoot on actual earth. Our cultural practices, for a lot of people, sometimes they think, well, those are sort of recreational or kind of a nice nod to the past. But for us, it's the way that we pass on our ethics and our values, and it helps us to maintain that connection to our ancestors. The earth is also where our ancestors are buried. And we believe that they are in the spirit world and still maintain some sort of connection to those bones that are in the ground. So for us to be here where they once walked and where they're buried helps us to maintain a connection to them. The land is also part of our identity. I told you that I am from Grand Portage Reservation. It puts me in a certain place. And if you're from Native country, it will tell you some things about me, what we're known for, what our thoughts are about different practices, the families that are there. It's a way of making connection. When the settlers came, we got moved off our larger area that we'd been roaming and instead set up living areas onto the smaller reservations that we inhabit now. Although some of us still live in off-reservation and in the urban areas. That attempt to move us off our lands and into those smaller spaces was part of a larger effort to what they called settling the land, and to, for some of them, They were trying to erase us from existence, clearing the land almost like you would of trees or rocks. So to do the acknowledgement statement acknowledges that we were here once, and we get to reestablish ourselves a little bit. And for other people to acknowledge that part of history. And it also means that we get to heal a little. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. When the Depot Foundation was formed, the purpose of it was to create an endowment to provide for the space needs and the accessories, the infrastructure of our tenants. And we've done a good job of that, I think, for the last several years, for 25 years or so. And we're continuing to do that. We use 5% of our endowment each year to make grants. We do also support some programming that goes on at the depot here. And your contributions make that all possible. We created a committee. I've been doing this for a number of years now, of people to nominate recipients of these awards. And it's amazing how many people we have in our area that qualify. We keep those awards, we keep the names and roll them forward. If we don't choose them this year, we do a voting within the committee and then with the whole board. And if you have names or if you'd like to serve on the committee, just let us know. Let us know through the office. We'd be very happy to have additional members on that selection committee. I'm now going to turn the program over to Jason Young. He is our new development director at the Depot Foundation, only a couple of months, and we're going to throw him right into the fray here and conduct the awards ceremony. I think you'll be impressed with what we've got for you to see tonight. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dennis, and thank you, Michelle. And thank you all for attending our 2023 Circle of Friends Art and Culture Award Celebration. Excuse me. This is our 22nd event. My name is Jason Young, and I'm the new development director for the Depot Foundation. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here tonight with you all. In 1979, the Depot Foundation was established. Initially, support for our iconic Depot building was its primary purpose. In 2000, the Depot Foundation added making generous grants to the tenants of the Depot. Today, our tenants are the Duluth Art Institute, Duluth Superior Symphony Orchestra, St. Louis County Historical Society, Lake Superior Railroad Museum, Minnesota Ballet, and the Arrowhead Chorale. Currently, the Depot Foundation is working on a new logo and website with Finden Marketing. Our goals are to make the Depot Foundation easily recognizable, not just locally, but nationally and globally. And we want to make the online donor experience seamless and secure. As we're moving from a private foundation to a public charity, every gift matters, and we truly appreciate all of our donors and all the gifts we receive each year. Thank you. I would like to add that we have additional and some corrected biography information included in the programs for some of our award recipients. You can also learn more on our website, depotfoundation.org. And welcome on Facebook Live. At this time, I would like the Depot Foundation Board of Directors to stand and be recognized, please. Where are you at? Our directors meet every other month and help guide the Depot Foundation through its organizational successes and challenges, keeping our mission close to heart. Thank you, directors. And now I would like to recognize our generous sponsors for tonight's program. Thank you, Lake Superior Railroad Museum, for the open bar. Very nice. St. Louis County Depot, catering by Belicios, Johnson Carpet One, North Shore Bank, Finden Marketing, Essentia Health, Minnesota Power, Oneida Realty, and Super One Foods. And thank you, Finden Marketing, for volunteering your time to help prepare and manage our slideshow this evening. First one we've done. One more thank you. Gotta hold on. So I'm not gonna go forward until she comes in here, so. Okay. One more thank you. You may or may not know Tracy Hansen. Tracy is the Depot Foundation's office manager. This amazing event probably would not have happened if it wasn't for her efforts over the past 7 months. Thank you, Tracy, for your tireless efforts. We couldn't have done it without you. Good job. All right, tonight's awards were created by Lake Superior Art Glass and Northern Acrylics, and they're absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much, Lake Superior Art Glass and Northern Acrylics. Finally, we have two amazing Minnesota ballet dancers that will be helping with our awards this evening, Libby Bach and Isabel Blindauer. Thank you both for helping. Now, let's celebrate tonight's winners. Our first award is a Community Enrichment Award. It is presented to an individual or organization that recognizes bold steps taken to strengthen the arts and culture of our region. This year's winner is Brandon VanWaeyenburghe. Brandon is awarded for his work on expanding the Duluth Superior Symphony Orchestra's reach to a larger local audience through their Bridge Session Concert Series collaborations between local popular bands and the DSSO.
Yeah, that's us up there. I'm just truly honored and blessed to receive this award and recognition. It does take a village, or in my space, the symphony, and want to make sure everyone knows that I'm accepting this on behalf of the board, the staff who are here tonight, the musicians of the DSSO. It's my pleasure to work with them each and every day to put on performances for our community. Classical music often gets a very specific connotation and sometimes a bad rap associated with it. We've been working to change the perception of what we are doing about it here in Duluth. We dropped our ticket prices last year and redesigned the seating chart to be more accessible. Last year, this past season, we added 457 new subscribers, reversing a national trend. While working with Dirk Meyer to create an exciting season that filled with 50%, half of the works that we were doing hadn't been done with the orchestra before. We thought ourselves were crazy, and we wondered how the patrons were going to react. Even today, I took a call from a patron and said they were so excited and energized about the season, about hearing something new, that kept them fresh, engaged, and curious. There was joy and eagerness to the performances each and every time we open up the concert. Finally, we are seeking to redefine the concert experience. Our bridge sessions, specifically designed to connect classical music and popular music, were a great success this past year. We look forward to continuing with 3 great local ensembles that will be performing on this stage here in less than a month. And as we look to our centennial season coming up in 31-32, we hope to find even more ways to connect with our community through innovative musical performances. So once again, thank you so much to the Foundation for this event.
Congratulations, Brandon. And something about dinosaurs coming up too, which is really awesome. Next is the Community Initiative Award. This award recognizes those individuals or organizations demonstrating exemplary initiative in creating opportunities in or expanding access to the arts and culture of our region. Past examples include Grandma's Marathon, Homegrown Music Festival, which was great last week, and the Children's Museum. This year's winner is Catalyst Story Institute and Philip Gilpin Jr. Philip and Story Institute are awarded for working to make the production industry to the Duluth and greater northern Minnesota areas a more accessible and appealing option for filmmakers across the country.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thank you to the Depot Foundation. And thank you to all of our film industry partners and friends in town. Specifically, there are two people we wouldn't be here without Ricky McManus. For those of you who know her, everybody give Ricky a round of applause. Who's been holding the TV and film industry in the Northland together for decades now. So thank you, Ricky, and she's the reason we're here. And Patty Mester and the folks at PBS North were one of the first people that I met when I came to town, and who completely understood the vision of what we were looking to do. And without Patty and that team at PBS North, none of the productions that have been happening around town would have happened. So let's give Patty and PBS North. And lastly, to Mayor Larson and her team at the city, who was also one of the first people I met with, who saw right away what we were trying to do. And they've been with us along the way. So let's give a round of applause to the city. I wasn't sure what to do tonight. I wrote a thing. I'm not going to read it all. I promise. I'm going to paraphrase this very quickly. But there's a really important thing I just want to say, which is I think that the Depot Foundation got it right when they decided that the award we should receive is called the Innovation Award. And I just want to spend 2 or 3 minutes just talking about innovation and what it is, especially here in Duluth, and why we're doing what we're doing. So Catalyst, for those of you who don't know, we're a storytelling institute. We focus on enhancing and empowering the careers of story artists by increasing access to education, career advancement, and building up the local creative economy. Fun fact, the U.S. has hundreds of film schools and thousands of film festivals. There are two organizations right now in the U.S. who were originally founded for the purpose of being about independent episodic storytelling, or as what we call it today, television. Film and TV are actually very different things from a creative and business perspective. Duluth is home to the only story summit that I know of in the country, and I've been doing this 20 years, that has independent film, independent web, and independent television as a festival event, which is what we do in the fall every year. It's not LA, it's not New York, it's Duluth. Yeah. Very good. So our festival isn't a film festival, we're a TV festival. And our vision for Duluth is Duluth being a hub of independent story television and film production, a national hub. And the reason for that is globally the U.S. leads in production, but within the U.S., there's actually no home base. There's no community right now who stands up pridefully and says, we are the home of independent storytellers. Come here, tell your stories, produce them here. Those of you who have been on Superior Street this week may have seen a production happening. There's been a number of them in town. And that's why a non-metro hub for our industry makes sense. You can now live and work from anywhere. LA and New York are too expensive. I used to live there. I know. And before I arrived here, Duluth already had all of the raw talent and resources that are needed for production. And the Northland had a history of production. Furthermore, Duluth prides itself on being independent and artistic. So the idea that Duluth could be a hub for this industry, which is what I think the Depot Foundation thought they were awarding us for tonight, wasn't actually in itself very innovative. It was just kind of like, duh, yeah, it's Duluth. The innovation has actually come in 2 steps, and I've never really talked about what it took publicly. And I'll be very quick about it. Innovation isn't about having an idea. Innovation is the act of changing an established system or a community to make that idea a reality. And to that, there were 2 key innovations we had to go through in order to get this industry up and running in town. One, we had to overcome some of the things that Duluth does. It can be anxious about outsiders. It can have some barriers in the way. It can have you kind of run around and have to do some extra work. That's fine. It can also, unfortunately, sometimes think that things can only happen in small incremental steps. We are not a small incremental organization. Our industry is not a small incremental organization. Productions cost millions of dollars. They employ hundreds of people. In fact, UMD recently released a study saying that for every dollar St. Louis County and Duluth have spent on our industry, $7 have been put back into the economy in return. Tens of millions of dollars and hundreds of jobs have been impacted. But it also said that had the investments been more, the results could have been north of $100 million a year. So when we talk about workforce development, creative community development, educational development, economic development, it's really up to you to put this industry into that conversation. There's a second piece that we had to innovate through, which is the money cycle in Duluth, which can be challenging. There is not necessarily a one-to-one return of, oh, if you help build the community and make us money, it will end up back supporting you even more. You have to really earn it. You got to really fight for it. That needs to change. And the reason it needs to change is there are a lot of people watching what's going on in Duluth right now from around the country and around the world in our industry. They want to be here. They want Duluth to stand up and say, we are that independent storyteller, artistic hub that the country and that people can look at and go, you know what? I can move there. I can live there. I can make a living there. Maybe I don't have to move there. Maybe I can just come and contribute to the economy. Those are just some of the challenges that we still face. And those are the real behind-the-scenes innovations that have taken place privately that I wanted to share with you tonight, because I think the Depot Foundation really hit it on the head when they talked about this being an award for innovation. The very last thing I want to say is the solution to all of this is for you to talk about it openly. Talk about it with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and at your next board meetings. If you don't know who to support, ask me. I've got a list. All right? If you don't know how to do it, ask me. We've held hundreds of community meetings over the last few years. We've worked with East, Central, and West Duluth. We've brought together leaders from the Iron Range, Duluth, and the Twin Cities. We've brought together people from Minnesota, and LA, and South Korea, all with that shared vision of Duluth being a national storytelling hub. And everything that we do in our lives is rooted in one of two things. It's either love or fear. And I don't know that a community can love its future by fearing its past. A lot of the things that have happened in Duluth, it's time to let it go. You don't have to wait 10 or 20 years to be an arts industry hub. It's now. The momentum is past the tipping point. There's a film that's going to shoot in this building next week. This is all within Duluth's reach. But you've got to seize it. Our job is just being the catalyst. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Philip. Congratulations. In 2021, the Depot Foundation created the Arts for All Scholarship. The Arts for All Scholarship strengthens financial opportunities for youth in our region that participate in educational opportunities, such as classes, camps, and workshops hosted by all of our Depot tenants. This past year, the Depot Foundation has awarded nearly $9,000 in scholarship awards. The Arts for All Scholarship is awarded year-round, and this opportunity is highlighted on our website. The Depot Foundation is committed to investing in the next generation of arts and culture makers. Tonight, we get to hear from two of our Arts for All Scholarship recipients about the impact this opportunity has made on them. First, we'll hear from Libby Bach.
Good evening, everyone. DEPA Foundation is a place where arts are recognized for their importance in shaping the next generation of leaders. I'm here to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to continue doing what I love with the help of your generous donation and giving me a place to grow into a leader that I hope to become one day. These past few years, I have really started to understand what it means to be passionate about something. It's not just enough for me to say that I like dancing, or even that I love it. Instead, I say that I desire it, and I long for it. Dancing takes my breath away, while simultaneously giving me life. It makes me forget all of my worries and lets me fly. And I think everyone should have something like that in their lives. Everyone should have something that makes them forget about the world outside and lets them look inwardly on themselves. This is what dance does for me, and maybe for what music does for you, or painting, or running, or whatever else. The point is, these scholarships don't just have a monetary value. They also have the value of time and opportunity to find something that you're passionate about, something that you dream of, something you long for, and make it a place for you to grow as a person. The scholarship I received gave me these exact things, and I hope it will continue to do so for your children, your neighbors, and your students. The DEPA Foundation is not only a place where the arts are allowed to thrive, but it's also a place where people are allowed to grow into who they are meant to be. Today, I'm one step closer to knowing who I am and how to become the best version of her. Thank you.
Thank you, Libby. That was terrific. Let's see here. Okay, and we'll hear from Isabel in a few moments. Next up is our Artist Award. The Artist Award recognizes an artist who has burst onto the art scene or whose distinguished career has made significant contributions to the development of both artists and the arts. This year's Artist Award winner is Moira Villiard. Moira is awarded for her brilliant mural work in and around Duluth and greater Minnesota.
Kind of make you exercise to get up here. So a little out of breath. No, I didn't really prepare much of a speech or anything, and I was trying to think of while everyone was sharing all the awesome stuff they had to share, what I could share while I'm up here. I guess one of the projects that I'm known for in the community is the Chief Buffalo Memorial murals down by the Lake Walk. And I figured I'll use this platform maybe to talk about those and kind of continue maybe the land acknowledgement that happened earlier. So in 2019, we started a pilot project down by the Lake Walk. It was sponsored by Zeitgeist. And basically that was to get a pictograph that Chief Buffalo had used on his journey to Washington, D.C. Can I get a show of hands or an applause if you've heard Chief Buffalo's full journey story? Difficult with the light coming this way, but it sounded like maybe half the room. So I'll give an overview of that. Basically, back in 1852, roughly around there was something that happened called the Sandy Lake tragedy. It was an intentional effort by the Minnesota Territory at the time to remove Ojibwe people and move them further west. And they did so by essentially starving out and killing over 400 Ojibwe people on what was called the Sandy Lake tragedy. And Chief Buffalo, in response, took this journey to Washington, D.C. for the chance to meet the President of the United States. It took over roughly 2 years to do, obviously, because the Treaty of 1854 is the treaty that resulted from that. And that is the treaty territory that we are on today. He was over 90 years old, I think between 90 and 100 years old when he took this journey and basically petitioned across the United States by like canoe and boat and train to get to the president, and to basically say that our communities wanted to live in peace with each other, basically. And as a result, we had the Treaty of 1854, which made it so we had our reservations established, and Ojibwe people weren't pushed further westward. So that whole project is stemmed from the inspiration of that story, and kind of what it means today for Ojibwe people to continue to live on this land and to also create artwork. I'm a Fond du Lac direct descendant. I do a lot of work in the community to uplift, I guess, Indigenous stories and figure out ways to make Indigenous stories relevant with the contemporary histories that we have here post-1900. And just a fact about like the Treaty of 1854, which, well, an interesting fact I learned in that specific project was about how, like, we're always taught that treaty rights are these things that were given to Native people, but it's actually the rights that everybody has to kind of exist on the land that we have today. So that project is really just to celebrate the fact that we all can live here today together. And yeah, I don't know. That was the story that I wanted to share. And as far as like that project, you know, there was over 500 people who were involved in painting in that space. Like Philip, I've had a lot of challenges in my artistic journey as far as like figuring out how to have a public art system in Duluth, and figuring out ways to, like do a mural, which seems simple but sometimes can be a little bit challenging. And so I wouldn't have been able to create that space without the help of lots of people in the community who showed up and not only helped create the work, but also like advocated to make it happen. This is pretty good for just off the top of my head, but yeah, and I think that's enough stuff. Yeah, that's enough. Thanks.
Congratulations again, Mary. Our Historical Preservation Award recognizes an individual, organization, or project that has made a substantial impact on historic preservation or interpretation in the region. The 2023 Historical Preservation Award winner is Dennis O'Hara. Dennis is awarded for his over 30 years of work photographing historic landmarks and Destination Duluth collaborations.
Well, thank you for this award. When I was first contacted about it, I thought they had the wrong guy. All I do is take pictures, and it happens to be that a lot of the photography that I've done over the years has been of the historic buildings, and the chance to do that is an amazing gift in itself, in that it gives you a chance to really observe and focus on what Duluth has, what it was built on. Duluth is really a focal point of natural resources. And those were used to build a country. And throughout the different phases of that, including the shipping industry, the fur trades, the lumber industry, mining, has created a wealth that also displays an amazing amount of craftsmanship. And so as you're in a place, say like Langsheen or the Depot, you get a chance to look at what was done with minimum tools and artistry in craftsmanship that is just undescribable. And if you've been through many of these places, it's you can just sit there, and each one is a work of art. So it's a gift to be able to do that, and I got to do it for just part of my work. So thanks for that, and that finally led to the Duluth Harbor Cams, which has, Duluth has become home to people from around the world that will never be here and have never been here. But they get to see the same abundance of natural resources that comes and go every day. And if you're from Duluth, you get used to it. But in reality, these people are up on the harbor camps every day and calling it home, having their cup of coffee, waking up to the sunrise on Lake Superior. They know each boat's name that comes and goes. And they see the people, they see the weather, and it's their windows to the Northland. And just they're Duluth citizens, and they're very appreciative of what Duluth has to offer, and just the ability to see this area. So I guess that's all that I have. But thank you very much.
Congratulations, Dennis. Next, we'd like to invite Isabel Blindauer up to talk about the impact the Arts for All Scholarship has made for her. Isabella.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Isabella Blindauer. Along with Libby, I'm both an apprentice at the Minnesota Ballet and a senior in the School of the Minnesota Ballet who received the Arts for All Scholarship. This scholarship has helped me in more ways than one. When I applied for the scholarship, it was merely for some financial aid for the school, as ballet is getting more expensive for me and my family each year, with tuition, point and technique shoes, and all other random expenses. But as the semester progressed, having earned the scholarship has helped me appreciate ballet even more than I already have. I have been dancing for the past 9 years, and luckily I have either had minor injuries or ones during the off-season. However, I recently had a concussion and I had to take a step back from dancing. In doing so, I have realized just how much I love dancing and how hard it is for me to sit down, when all I want to do is turn and jump and build my strength. I remember one of the first days coming back, I had danced for a short while and then I had to sit down because my head had started to hurt. As soon as I got home, I almost burst into tears. I felt weak and upset because ballet is the thing that takes all my outside worries away, and I couldn't dance. Not really, anyways. Luckily, that only lasted a week right before spring break, which helped me rest. I'm so grateful for all my friends, family, and teachers who are incredibly supportive and helpful. Now, this all ties back to the scholarship, because had I not had the scholarship, I don't think the year would have gone the way it has. I think I would have been more stressed, and maybe I would have pushed myself too hard to get better, as I would have worried about wasting my parents' money. The scholarship has really helped me appreciate what I do, as it helped me focus on my dancing and not money. I also believe the scholarship has helped me become more adamant on taking care of my injuries so that I can heal quickly and get right back into dancing. I am so grateful for having earned this scholarship. Not only has it helped my family financially, but it has also helped me appreciate this art form even more. I'd like to thank the Depot Foundation for not just the scholarship, but for believing in me. I'd also like to give a thank you to all those who were there to support me and help me get through my concussion, specifically my parents, Brian Kelly Blindauer, all my teachers, especially Mr. Carr, who made sure that I sat down when my head was hurting, and all my friends in ballet and art. Thank you all so much, and I hope you enjoy this meeting.
All right, thank you, Isabella. The Lifetime Achievement Award is presented to recognize a person or organization which has contributed to the region, not only through the Depot Foundation, but through volunteerism, ambassadorship, and contributions of spirit, energy, and resources. Our Lifetime Achievement Award winner is Bart Sutter. Awarded for his work in poetry, fiction, and creative nonfiction, Bart is the only author to win the Minnesota Book Award in 3 different categories and being named the first poet laureate of Duluth. Bart's advice for young writers: read, read, read. Who speaks to you? Figure out how they did that. Try it yourself with your own material. Have a great time. Persist.
heard that, Lilo. Is there anything sweeter than being honored by your own region? My mother and her sisters graduated from Denfeld in the late 1930s, and their ghosts are smiling tonight. Not to mention those of my maternal grandparents who lived most of their lives in the Twin Ports. I often replay my memories of riding the passenger train from Minneapolis with my grandmother when I was a kid. At times we seemed to float rather than roll through the forest with mist rising off the lakes and ponds, arriving finally here at this unforgettable building. So I want to thank the Foundation and its Circle of Friends not only for this award, but also for your work in preserving the depot and ensuring that it remains a lively place. And then quickly to my fabulous wife, family, and friends for their support and patience with my absent-minded, daydreamy way of walking through the world. And offer a salute to all the dedicated artists in the area. It's been slow motion thrilling to witness the arts truly come of age here over these past few decades. My primary art form is highly portable, so instead of extending my remarks, I thought I'd offer you my most Duluth poem, A Taste for Ptarmigan. You know ptarmigan? It's a grouse or a partridge, even farther north than here, that turns white in the winter. I thought this might be appropriate given what we've just come through. Jay Newcomb put the numbers 140 at the peak of his roof, garage roof, just recently to remind us all in the neighborhood of how terrific we are. A Taste for Ptarmigan. On December 1st, it snowed a foot. On the 2nd, it snowed 2 more. Then it quit and turned off cold, so cars refused to start and people just sat still. Muskox weather, day by day. The nights were spooky too. Boom! You'd hear the ice crack on the lake, or worse, the rafters in your house. Nails popped, the screws came loose. You still had windows, but what could you see with frost flowers grown fantastically opaque? New Year's Day, it snowed 1 inch. On the 2nd, we got 2. On the 3rd, 3 inches more. I said to the wife, what's the use? She passed the sugar bowl. I sprinkled some over my flakes, repulsed because the crystals fell like you know what. But I needed the oomph to shovel the roof. I got right down to shingles. That night, a blizzard hit. Everywhere I looked white. Salt, sheets, the tablecloth, the fish in my muyaka. Open the door, you'd close it quick. Snowy owls on the rooftops, snow leopards in the streets. Crows had fled the country, replaced by ptarmigan. I grabbed the 410 and blasted one. The oven still worked, so we seasoned the bird, and I'll say this, it wasn't bad, not bad at all. Tasted a little like chicken, with a hint of juniper. Our hair was turning white. The wife was fading, pale, her brown eyes going gray. One morning, gazing down on her in bed, I thought she looked so pitiful and snug. I said, you might as well stay in your drift. I brewed her a cup of tea, but didn't add any cream. I brought it to her, nice and hot, and dark as garden earth we turn up in the spring. She reached out a ghostly hand and said, baby, come on inside. She treated me so sweet that I saw fireworks and lost all track of time. When I woke up, the robins sang and kids were playing catch. Neighbors came to lunch on the lawn. The wife was toasty brown. By nightfall, though, I longed for a hockey game. And leafing through the calendar, I daydreamed flakes and drifts and felt a strange affection for the ice cubes in my drink. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bart. The risk taker with those stairs, too. Our final award is the Lifetime Artist Award. It is presented to an individual or group which has dedicated their time, talent, and energy to their art form. Someone whose passion and dedication are readily apparent and appreciated by so many. An Arrowhead region artist whose lifetime artistic excellence, dedication, and vision have made a positive impact on our community. The 2023 Lifetime Artist Award goes to Mimi Parker and Alan Sparhawk of the Duluth band Low. Low was formed in Duluth in 1993. Low has released over 20 studio albums and EPs since 1994. Low is recognized globally, having records chart in Austria, France, Germany, Ireland, the UK, and more.
Thank you all. I did not anticipate following Bart and Sutter. But I scribbled a couple things down. Mimi and I came here from Clearwater County, which is in northwest Minnesota. We were on farms. Came here. Mim wanted to come here because Mim's sister already lived here. She's a manager at the Wendy's at the mall. So that's a good start, you know. It's sometimes how the hinges of life are hung. And it worked out pretty good. I remember the first time I went downtown, it's nice to see the North Shore Bank as a sponsor here, because I think I went down to the North Shore Bank to see if I could set up an account. And someone walked up to me and they said, "Hey man, you look like someone who'd like to buy some crack." I didn't look like this back then. I was a goat farmer from Clearwater County. So I figured things were going to be all right. Some of the strength that we have here comes from the fact that we're kind of off the beaten path. I've always called it underdog syndrome. There's a little bit of a drive, there's a little bit of a grit in our teeth here. And trying to create something because you got to try a little harder. And you know you're a little bit off the beaten path. But that works out pretty good. Sometimes those things is what pushes you along. I'm really grateful, and it is really great to see that this organization here does scholarships, and I would have to say that the two recipients who spoke here, I thought said some of the most eloquent things I've ever heard. So thank you. We really have an opportunity in this community because we're on the tip of this lake. It's a big piece of water, you And if we're going to heal this world with what we create, we're in a pretty good spot because this water's here. And the energy that we put into this world, we're right there, we can touch that water. And that water's connected to everything else in the world. So, you know, if that helps you get up and get your 10 minutes of drawing in, then maybe that'll help. Yeah, just remember to just put it in front of yourself every day, and it'll be part of your life. You know? So, thank you, Mim. As many of you know, Mim passed away just about exactly 6 months ago, and I want to say that this community really showed its love, and I will be forever grateful for that. And thank you. Peace.
Thank you, Alan. Congratulations to all of our 2023 Circle of Friends Award recipients. Please join me in one more round of applause for everybody. Thank you all once again for attending tonight's Circle of Friends Arts and Culture Award celebration. We truly appreciate you being here and for your support. Please enjoy tonight's reception in the Debo Great Hall right down the hall. And if you're by a vase of flowers, you can take that home, okay? And thank you all. Good night.
Someone put up on the shelf, you know?